YouTube, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Miss J, aka the Blurred Bay, and today we do have a little bit of a different style of video. I actually had the chance to go check out the sub premiere in Los Angeles of Suzume no Tojimari, and it was fantastic. I can get into details in a bit, but my question for this is Suzume one of the best, if not the best, films possibly of 2022? Let's go ahead and get into some of my thoughts from the film. This will be a spoiler review of the movie. There are plenty of no spoiler reviews out there, you guys, so no point in holding back in this one. Let's go ahead and get into my thoughts about the film. So director Makoto Shinkai brings us another banger after his hit films Weathering with You and Your Name in Suzume. It was an absolutely fantastic film, and without a doubt the animation is the first thing that you notice, and the art style, and it blew me away. When I tell you guys, it probably wasn't even 5 minutes into the film, and that opening scene, I think we see it in the trailer, of when our young Suzume is riding her bike and you see that view of the beautiful blue ocean water. When I tell you guys, I lost my breath. That type of artwork and that animation is present throughout the entire film. Absolutely gorgeous. Listen, Makoto Shinkai put his back, and his team, they put their back into that animation, y'all, for real. It is so beautiful, so I don't want to spend too much time on that aspect of the film. 10 out of 10 on the animation. Like, we could just go ahead and put that out there. 10 out of 10. Okay, perfect. So Shinkai was actually in the theater and did do a little bit of a Q&A session, and also like an introductory discussion with the fans in attendance. So overall, he talks about that Suzume, and I'm not sure if most people know this, so that's why I'm getting into it. Suzume is really based on real life events. So in 2011, not sure how many of you remember, but just to take it back, Japan was hit by a very serious tsunami and earthquake, and it was absolutely catastrophic and devastating to the country. Shinkai said that he was visiting parts of the country that were devastated. That is sort of where he got the premise of Suzume. And so that's the world that Suzume is in, and really all about and focusing on how does one come back after such devastation, really taking us through the steps and a lot of what Suzume and her family had to overcome. And so it was really captivated and composed very, very well. And there's parts of the movie where you'll actually see, if you Google images from that tsunami in Japan, that you can actually see some of the imagery in the film as well. With that in mind, like I said, the premise of the story is really about how does one close those doors and really move forward. You see throughout the film, and every single time there's a door, a doorknob, and a key, there's a tight shot of them locking the door. And it's a very subtle, small touch. You may not notice it if you're just kind of watching. It's really a subtle thing, but I really do think it drives home the point that it's all about how do you close that door? How do you feel the emotions of the people in the area, or feel the emotions that you're experiencing, but you close that door because you know you have to move forward. And I think that the story of Suzume is one of pushing forward, and it's really just trying to triumph and overcome those things in your past, and the fact that really your past does not define you. I really like that about Suzume, and how she's just always moving forward, always championing, like, okay, I've got to keep going. This does not scare me. I'm not fearful of this because I want to be someone who is doing something good. Every step of the way, Suzume carried something with her to the next person that she encountered, or to the next experience that she learned from and encountered. And if she didn't have the experience that she had prior to that one, she may not have been strong enough or capable of overcoming or closing the door without that experience she had before that. I just wanted to call that out. And if you guys see me looking down, it's only because I took meticulous notes, okay? Meticulous notes. Another premise of the film is Suzume actually in English means sparrow. Even though there's so much plight and so much devastation around them, oftentimes birds can find the land. They can find the green. They can find a way to persevere. And so I think metaphorically that was really beautiful, because that's what Suzume did. She really, at every time it would seem like, oh my gosh, it's the end. But it wasn't the end, because she kept moving forward and she kept trying. She never gave up. And I can really see why people call director Shinkai a genius and this movie a masterpiece. As someone as well, I should mention, I actually have never seen Your Name or Weathering with You, so I cannot say how the two are linked. From what I could tell from the director when he spoke to the crowd, it seemed like it was something new for him. He wrote the screenplay himself. It took him like 6 months to do it, and he really put a lot into doing something different, I guess. Also, during the premiere that I had a chance to go to during the sub version, the man who led the audio, I cannot remember his name unfortunately, but he led the music and the score of the film. Oh, y'all, can I say 10 out of 10 as well for the music? I was listening and I was like, wow, what the song selection, the music, and even down to the point of where they choose to pull out the audio. Even when the audio is lifted, and then when they chose to pull it out because they want you to listen and really focus on what the character is saying in that moment, because it's of so much importance. Literally, it was masterfully done. Like, I just wanted to just throw flowers down to the last details. You could tell that it was very meticulously composed. And so I just absolutely felt like it was phenomenal. I sort of talked about the symbolism in the name Suzume, but in addition to that, there are other symbols throughout the film. And the director, he mentioned that I think, as we saw in some of the trailers, that there was a chair running around across the country chasing a kitty. Like, stuff like that. It's very somewhat silly, but the reason why he said he chose to do like some of those insignificant props in many ways is because he felt like if he did something too significant, it might hinge on a darker film. And instead, it sort of brought a little bit more humor, a little more lightheartedness to something that was a very serious and very deep event, an impactful event. Even though he did choose those type of insignificant items, I still felt as though it didn't take away from any of the seriousness of the film. I also wanted to say that Suzume is not a romance film. It is not a film about romance. I think I saw some comments across social media about, oh, I can't wait to see a teenage girl fall in love with a chair. And honestly, it was not about romance for me. Like, I feel some moments of love and maybe some unrequited type vibes, maybe? But it was more of a crush. Like, it was less of a love story and more of like a girl crushing on a boy. Or crushing on a chair, I should say. And it wasn't too sappy. Because I think for me personally, if Suzume was very romantic and sappy and love story, it probably would have distracted it for me. It really did feel like a film about perseverance and adventure and trying to find yourself. It's like a serenity prayer. I don't want to get all spiritual on this video. I know I sometimes be preaching to y'all. You have to accept the things you cannot change, have courage to change the things that you can, and also have the wisdom to know the difference. And so I absolutely loved the film. I'm happy it wasn't a romance film. I love that. Like, didn't want a romance film here on this one, but it was great overall despite that. So my final thoughts, and going back into my original question, is Suzume one of the sleeper best films in anime in 2022 or 2023? For me, in 2022, I still think the JJK movie was also very fantastic. I think a Dragon Ball movie also came out last year, but I did not see it personally. But if I have to give it, I still think that Suzume, that JJK movie, JJK Zero, was so good. To me, it's up there. It's probably top 2 for me. I can't remember all the other ones that came out. Suzume was absolutely beautiful, absolutely fantastic. I loved the film overall. I felt such a wide range of emotions. Happiness, love, sadness, grief, and laughter was exactly what I wrote down, to be specific. Overall, it was a fantastic film. Would I see it again? Absolutely would see it again. Would I recommend it? Highly would recommend it. What would I rate it? I am so skeptical about giving movies a 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. Suzume deserves a 10 out of 10 from me. Personally, I went in with no expectations and walked out as feeling like the most powerful girl in the world, and I need to go chase my ambitions, put what's behind me, understand my past, reflect on my past, but don't let my past necessarily hold me back because I'm too scared to move forward. So overall, I would definitely give Suzume a 10. I would highly recommend it if you are curious about going to see it at this point. And yeah, you guys, that is going to do it for my review of Suzume. If you do go check out Suzume, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it, or let me know if you've already seen it and give me your thoughts if you enjoyed it yourself. That's going to do it for this video, you guys. So if you did enjoy this review right here, you might also enjoy this reaction right over here. So go ahead and give this a watch right up after this video. And so if I don't see you in this video up next, I'll see you in a future upload on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.